Come on, window capture. Let's go. There we go. Cranking hog time. I have like no articles, given it's the holidays and nothing's going on and nothing's really catching my interest. This is probably going to be a short stream. Okie dokie. Actors report being blacklisted for unvaccinated status. Let's see. Actor, stunt performer, and director Dorian King says he hasn't had a job in the entertainment industry in 3 years because of his vaccine status. Now we've heard stories of this like over the last while now of the COVID death cult trying to have a funny enough, the COVID death cult has a death grip on trying to control, still try to control people with fear and stuff and whatnot. And that's not really working, but they seem to be, well, depending where you're at, still seem to be able to clamp down on wrongthink and punishing the apostates because they went against the cult. So it's just going over a few examples and stuff. But I don't know how much longer this is going to last because this article also does go into there's like a massive like a bunch of different lawsuits, and it looks like there might be a class action lawsuit against the Screen Actors Guild, American Television and Radio Artists, like against. It's like it seems to be that momentum is building, and it looks like people are going to go ahead with like a class action lawsuits against the Screen Guild, and that's kind of a big deal. COVID Death Cult does sound like a Death Grip album. I know, right? Let's see. Neither logical nor scientific. Yeah, we know. Yeah, just going over a couple people. Yeah, okay. So there is a lawsuit in the works. Let's see. It looks like around 100 plaintiffs. So class action. Breach of fiduciary duty and fair representation, breach of contracts, and negligence. Because here's the thing. This mafia wants you to pay them for protection racket, and then they don't end up actually protecting you. So it's kind of like, what's the fucking point? It's like the Screen Actors Guild is failing to, like rule number 0 of running a racket and stuff. If they don't fear you, then the racket falls apart, and they're actually like class action lawsuiting, the mob right now. So it's like obviously the system failing, and I'm all for the Screen Actors Guild. Like fuck, I fucking hate, I fucking despise in my soul. I hate anything to do with communism, particularly like unions, guilds, shit like that. Even the association I'm legally required to be registered with to do my geology job. I fucking hate that shit. Screen Actors Guild had a continuing obligation to collectively work with their signatories to comply with applicable provisions and satisfy and meet and confer opportunities as discussed in the collective bargaining agreement before implementing forced vaccinations. However, they failed and resultantly failed their members. Yeah, no fucking shit. Blah blah blah. Another example. Blah blah blah. So not only is the lawsuit going ahead and stuff, there's actually like lobbying bodies being formed because of shit like this. Like I know a bunch of nurses up in Canada started to quote unquote unionize against the standing union kind of thing. Like, okay, well, this union's not going to represent me, so we're gonna make our own union with blackjack and hookers kind of thing. Some people need grifting classes, yeah. Given that Fran Drescher is the president of SAG, after I'm surprised it hasn't gotten even more to shit. I just want the system to burn. So like when shit like this here happens, like when shit like this happens, of like, okay, for example, like this Hollywood for Freedom thing. I've been saying this for years at this point. The parallel economy is growing, and it's for because of shit like this. So you have like separate lobby groups and effectively now separate unions forming to contest the establishment. I don't know how far shit's gonna go, but it seems to be swinging in the proper direction. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's assholes versus assholes, and I really don't care. I'm just here for a good time. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I don't know. I thought this was interesting. So I thought all this was interesting, and I'm kind of curious to see how it pans out. Again, it's kind of like one of those things. Is like, all right, gonna have to wait a few months for the case to work for this way through months, if not years, for the case to work its way through the courts. But yeah, what can you do? Is the ESG investment bubble bursting? The answer is yes. Yes, it is. Let's see. ESG funds are experiencing a decrease in new inflows and increased closures due to underperformance and investor withdrawal. What a surprise. Regulatory tightening, greenwashing exposure, and a return to oil and gas investments contribute to the decline in the appeal of ESG funds. Actually, I would argue so. I would go so far as to argue that the death of the ESG funds was when coal, oil, and gas stocks started making their way into the. Okay, here's how we all know how ESG, like the scam works. We all know how it works by now. But the death knell for it for me was to prop up these ESG portfolios. What the brokers had to do is they slipped in some good performing stocks. Some good performing stocks included oil and gas and coal stocks. So like the fossil fuel stocks, they slipped them into these portfolios just to buoy it up, because everything else in the portfolio was underperforming that bad. So they slipped in like all this fossil fuel shit just to have a return investment at all and stuff. And now people are kind of realizing it's like, wait a minute, my portfolio has oil and gas when I specifically didn't want oil and gas to be ESG'd. Wait a minute, so I'm just gonna withdraw all my funds and just put it straight up in oil and gas and shit like that, and make money. Yeah, you put the ESG in your orange chicken and make it tasty. Num num. Let's see. Despite previous overperformances, ESG funds are now struggling as investor sentiments shift back towards traditional energy sectors, increasing scrutiny on sustainability claims. It's almost like the whole fucking thing was a goddamn scam. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. So oil and gas prices are like an all-time high, and like the ESG funds, like all these like energy startups like are failing. The subsidies are over. Like no one's investing in this shit anymore, and there's no payoff. And like there's nothing to show for it. It's not like it's the tech stock or tech startup where you have like the promise of it being big later. It's like, no, you need to, in these particular cases, you need to deliver a product. And if you're not delivering a product, or you're delivering a product that no one wants, you're going to fail. And that's obviously being the case here. ESG has been the shit lives and reads what NFTs have been tech bros. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. I I knew that I saw this for what it was from day one, and to see it implode now, it brightens my soul. I feel bad for the ignorant people who bought into this shit and stuff, but here's the thing. You need to be an informed investor. Don't just do whatever your broker tells you. Your broker is just rolling the same dice that you are. Here's a deep dark secret of finance. The brokers know more than you when it comes to legal shit for what you're able to do. But as far as actually being able to predict the future, I can't predict the future, and neither can they. It's like we can't, and they can't either. And it's all just it's like investing is just a gamble. It's a gamble. It's a gamble that people are okay doing with. And if it comes up snake eyes, well, tough shit. And especially when going into a deal, for example, like ESG, where if you have two brain cells to rub together, you know this is a fucking scam, and they're going to rail you. So I really don't feel bad for these people. I really don't. But there was another article I read this morning that I didn't add on, but it's actually kind of related to this. The electronic vehicle market is really hurting right now, and is no more indicative than it is in China. Because in China right now, I've seen the video of like the bikes and e-bike graveyards, but now there's a lot of electronic vehicle graveyards in China. Because for those who don't know, this is a really good video. I forget what it's called, but pretty much not too long ago, there was a big e-bike rental craze in China, and everyone and their dog made an e-bike company. So like the companies that made the bikes made them really cheap and pocketed the difference, and it just worked its way up down the chain. Now the bubble burst because it was a speculation bubble, because everyone got in on it. Everyone overproduced sub-quality shit. And then when the bubble bursts, well, then you end up with landfills full of electronic bikes. And this is also happening right now with electronic vehicles in China. And not just China, everywhere too. Because the standards and technology, like here's the thing. The standards and technology, like the efficiency of vehicles, are always increasing. So it's kind of like the iPhone problem, is that yes, they're marginal increases in efficiency, and you know it is slightly better than last year's model and stuff. But this does translate to like better driving distance, better quality of life, better charging stations. And if you just disposable, not disposable, but like it is planned obsolescence, but on the scale of turnover for electronic vehicles over the last few years, it's absurd. And you can't exactly recycle a lot of that shit, because once you make the battery, that's kind of it. So it's really depressing and kind of scary to see how much like electronic vehicles are in like landfills now, effectively, like in China. Like there are literally just like hills of like old, cheaply made, overproduced and cheaply made electronic vehicles right now. It's the same problem they had a few years ago with the e-bikes. And all of this is just stupid. It's really stupid. Okay, this is a little wholesome. This article might give Kirishi a bit of hope. 22-year-old quits her job for trad wife lifestyle, embraces 1940s, has words for couples today. So this chick, ever since she was a kid, was all about the retro shit. And she here's the thing, she never really outgrew it. So it's like she wants to be a trad wife, she wants a trad husband, and just doing her own thing. It's just like it's really frustrating. Frustrating is probably the word I have to use the most in this instance. It's so frustrating for someone to pick and go ahead with a traditional, read normal lifestyle is unironically stunning and brave in this day and age. So a chick wanting to be a housewife and being a mom is stunning and brave. And that hurts me. I know Kershey said shit like this before, but it does hit home. It's just like, wow, nice news for once. Yeah, yeah. And not really much to say. Just giving her a little story and going over everything and stuff. But it just feels good. It feels nice. It feels nice. And also in good news, go away from social good news to economic good news. U.S. states make bold move to reclassify gold and silver. Proposed legislation would remove barriers for using gold and silver as money by lowering transaction costs. The bills also aim to treat precious metals as legal tender, breaking down the Federal Reserve's monopoly on money. The move is part of a larger effort at the state level to support sound money and challenge the federal government's fiat currency system. So here's the thing. If a lot of okay, not even a lot, if any state does this here, that means the Fed is done. Because honestly, all it's going to take is for one state to not play ball. And then it's going to be 2 states, and then 3 states, and then 4 states. This is like the fundamental problem of the United States is the Federal Reserve. You have to end the Federal Reserve if you want to make America great again. That's all it comes down to it. And it's shit like this here. This is a kill shot. Let's see, bills filed in Oklahoma and Missouri legislators for the 2024 legislative session would eliminate state capital gains taxes on the sales of gold and silver. The legislation would also take other steps to treat gold and silver as money instead of commodities, and saying who's doing it, yada yada. And I really can't emphasize enough of how important this shit is. Like, a lot of economic headache of the system that we've experienced for all of our lives stems from going off the gold standard. Going back on the gold standard will not fix everything overnight, but it is a monumental, huge step in the right direction. Like say if we go like right now, every country in the face of the planet goes back to the gold standard. That's not going to fix overnight, and it's going to be really big teething issues. But holy shit, does it need to get done? I thought we were winning from the ANCAP guy winning in Argentina, but god damn, like a couple of states are going ahead and like lowering the barrier for entry and like legalizing that yes, this is money and this is your money kind of shit. It's great. Yeah, it's just going over like the history of the Federal Reserve and stuff and whatnot. I thought the Federal Reserve will stay silent. Oh, the Federal Reserve is going to to the fucking heavens. If either of these bills, if either of these 2 states actually gets through, the Fed is done. I don't care what anyone says. If either of these bills make it through, that's the beginning of the end for the Fed. I would argue that the beginning of the end for the Fed has already begun, but this year would be the first kill shot. So I got my fingers crossed. But I don't know. Maybe someone will get the CIA award for excellence in journalism. I imagine that's probably what's going to happen. I hate it when people complain about there being teething issues with changing back to the gold standard as if there's no issue moving from it. Well, no, like that's what I mean. It's there was no issues moving from it. Well, yeah. Well, what I mean by that is like it's not going to happen overnight. As much as I would love for it to happen overnight, nothing's going to happen overnight. This is going to be a death by 1,000 cuts. They death by 1,000 cuts us with the Federal Reserve. Well, we can throw it right back at them. Yeah, I know you're agreeing. I'm just making clear that both where we stand on it. But yeah, no, I've also heard people of complaining. It was like, oh, it would be too much to go back to the old way. It's like, motherfucker, no, it wouldn't. Like I would have arguments with my parents back in the day of this stuff. It's like it's like I remember explaining to my mom, like I work in gold, so like I'm trying to like I would try to explain to her. It's like, mom, gold is not worth $2,000. Is that the dollar is worth less? The dollar is actually worth zero. It's worthless. But for the sake of argument, it's not that 1 ounce of gold is $2,000. Is that it takes $1,000 for that 1 ounce of gold. It's all how you look at it. Like the point of reference is from the gold and not from the dollar. And I was never able to explain this. And trying to explain inflation stuff, it's like, hey, did you know that over 40% of every US dollar ever printed was printed in the last 2 years? And that's fucking insane. And it's just like, it's like, this is very important. And trying to explain this shit to people is just like, I just want to pull out my hair. I don't know. Maybe I'm spoiled because I'm a geologist and I have a concept of deep time and large scale. Like I can make my mind think in the abstract on a large scale. And I have no problem with this. But some people just can't conceptualize like 33 or whatever it is right now, like $33 trillion of US debt. People can't conceptualize that. And even more dumb fuckers can't understand why that's a bad thing. Fucking geologists and their big brains. Pipkin, why? Pipkin, okay, so you're watching this, but you're typing in Discord and not in chat. So I assume that you're probably at work and you're not allowed to have Odyssey? uh, uh, Odyssey email is dead. Can't log in. Okay, that's fair. All right, next. Mass migration blueprints reveal NGOs carefully planned U.S. migrant invasion, report says. I also have a report. I have a report that says water is wet and that the sun rises in the east. Let's see. A network of NGOs and non-government organizations seem to be playing a powerful role in coordinating large-scale invasion of illegals at the U.S. southern border. Blah blah blah. It's shit like this we've seen before and I've covered before. And it's infuriating. It's infuriating when there's more. Okay, it's infuriating because there are people who say it's like, oh, there's not a concerted effort at swarming the border, but then you have literal organizations like Case One, distributed by Doctors Without Borders, of all the stops and where to go and who to talk to. That's from Doctors Without Borders. Number two, from the United Nations. Same shit. Another NGO, Amigos del Tren. Same shit. Yeah, they show all the rail lines that you can take to get up to the U.S. And it just goes on, and it's just like distributed by Red Cross. Same shit. And it's like, no, you don't want to help these people. You want to harm other people. It's it's just you're not fooling anyone with this shit. How can millions of people move through several countries without organization? How do people think this shit works? I know, but some people are just that stupid. I can't even say it's ignorant because it's willfully ignorant. And if you're willfully ignorant, that's a load of words to say you're stupid. It's like people are just fucking stupid. It's like, yes, it's not. It's like it's the age old thing. The age old thing of people saying, "Oh, it's a conspiracy theory." It's like, motherfucker, all a conspiracy is two guys trying to screw over a third guy. That's all it ever was. That's all it ever is. It's all it ever will be. And shit like this here, where it's like I've looped on this before, in that they're not even fucking hiding it. They're not even being subtle about it. Like the Red Cross, the United Nations, like Doctors Without Borders and stuff. It's not like they made it like here's what I would do. If I was going to scam people on like this, what I would do is I would make a shell company. Several shell companies have so many layers, like, you know, like it's like LOL, I'm behind 7 proxies kind of thing. I would have so many shell companies in between me and the boots on the ground, people printing out and giving out these pamphlets. You know, like I would have so much plausible deniability that I'm even doing this shit. But no, they're slapping their logos on it. And it's just like, God, fucking look, if you're going to be an evil shit. Okay. I've been told this expression quite a few times over throughout my life, and this is one of my core tenets that I believe in. If you're going to commit a crime, or in this case, if you're going to be an evil shit, if you're going to commit a crime, what you do, you look both ways. You look both ways before jaywalking. You're looking for cars to run you over, and you're looking for cops who are going to ticket you. In this case, it's like, don't fucking put your fucking logo on it. Goddamn. Like it's a natural phenomenon, like a tide or something. Yeah. Oh God. Okay, so it looks like the last 3 articles were like just back to back like white pill. Uh, it's like, okay, new headwind for gender affirming care for children, soaring malpractice insurance costs. So in this article, it goes over an example of the project for Quad Cities, location in Moline, Illinois, near the Iowa border. Now, what these fuckers wanted to do was set up a sex change building by the border of a state who doesn't allow it. So, you know, set up shop, come to us, we'll cut off your tits and dick. But in order of trying to set up shop, what these chuckle fucks realize is that the tide has turned, and no one wanted to insure them for medical, give them medical insurance. It's like, you know, business medical insurance. Like no one wanted to give them, and the one guy who went ahead with it was, instead of like a premium of $10,000, said, okay, we'll insure you guys, but it's going to be $50,000. You know, like no one wants to insure these chuckle fucks because of all the lawsuits that are making their way through the system now, and it's fucking hilarious. It's like they can't even set up shop because they can't afford to, because no one wants to insure them. Like it's kind of like losing the moms. If you lose the moms when it comes to voting and stuff, you've lost. In this case, when it comes to doing a business, if you lost the insurance companies, like Kirsha tells her stories of like working in insurance and stuff, and insurance is a soulless business. It's all about money. It's a soulless business. It's all about the Benjamins. And if these motherfuckers aren't going to insure you for your little you know, tit and dick chopping business and stuff, that means you're done. The grift you ran on for the last few years is done. Capital D, done. And this is great. Yeah, let's give an example of like lawsuits going through the system, which we've covered before. And I don't know. I'm glad. It's news like this here. It makes me glad because the tide has turned. The tide has turned and is continuing to turn and is fucking great. I'm all for it. Yeah, that's all I had lined up. So I'm just breezing through my RSS feed, see if there's anything that catches my attention. Do do do. Oh, neat. I'm not gonna bring this up on screen because it's local news, but there was a bombing. Okay, for over the last year or so, a lot of schools in Ontario have been getting bomb threats, and it looks like they nailed the guy. Well, not really nailed the guy, but they found the guy, and it looks like he's okay. So he's arrested in Morocco, but whether he's going to get extradited remains to be seen. But about damn time, because every other week I'm hearing like in the local news of like, oh, this school got a bomb threat, that school got a bomb threat, and it looks like they got the guy. So good, fuck them. Oh my god. Oh god. New York Times sues Microsoft OpenAI for alleged copyright infringement. In a case which could have significant implications for AI, the New York Times has filed a lawsuit against OpenAI, the makers of ChatGPT, and Microsoft for alleged copyright infringement. Now you have my attention. Oh god. Let's see. The lawsuit claims that the companies violated copyright laws by using the Times content to train their AI models, including ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot. Oh my God, this is the same shit that all those artists like. Remember when the art AIs and machine learnings like tools when they first came out and stuff, there was a big brouhaha from artists saying like, you use my copyrighted material to train your thing. Remember that? Well, it looks like the big boys are encountering that right now. In this case, it's New York Times suing Microsoft. Oh my god, I don't know why this tickles me so much. Oh my god. I hate the New York Times and I hate Microsoft. So again, it's another one of those situations where it's like asshole versus asshole. I don't care. I'm here for it. Oh god. I doubt there's anything worse than scraping from the New York Times. I know. But this is still funny. I don't know. It's not like New York Times is any better than like fucking like Salon and shit like that at this point. Honestly, all the major news publications are fucking rags at this point because it's all fucking yellow journalism. We know this. Let's see. Defendants have effectively avoided spending billions of dollars at times invested in creating that work. Oh my god. It's like this is again, I made this okay, I made this joke when the machine learning generated media content first started making the rounds. I made the joke of the meme, like, I made this. Guy goes away. I made this. That meme? It's like I joked about that when this fear first started, and it's just not stopping. It's just not stopping. It's only escalating. Oh my god. Get the archive on the go. Some publishers, meanwhile, such as the Associated Press and Axel Springer, have inked deals to license their content to OpenAI. See, those guys are being smart. Those guys are being smart. I love. Okay. Anyone who rags on me for reading Zero Hedge, this is why I read Zero Hedge. Guess training your AI on woke, litigious, and fake news media content wasn't the best idea, Sam. New York Times sues OpenAI and Microsoft over AI's use of copyright work. New York Times. Oh no. However, will chat NPC become more woke now? I love the writers. I love the writers over at Zero Hedge. Here's the thing: Zero Hedge, at the end of the day, is an economics, is a business website. That's why I'm here. But the staff writers at Zero Hedge and stuff, even though the majority of their content is just reposting other people's shit, I'm fine with that. It's a fish in a barrel, shooting fish in a barrel for stuff I am personally interested in. And whenever they publish their own stuff, they're very cheeky about it, and I love it. They're so cheeky about it, and I just fucking love it. Let's see. Title. Paste. Archive still going. Paste that. Yeah, that's it for my feeds. Yeah, that's all I got. So how was everyone's Christmas and Boxing Day? Mine were pretty quiet, and that's how I like it. I'm legitimately trying to think of anything to talk about as far as going over the holidays, but honestly, other than making my phone calls to friends and family, didn't really do much. It was great, just celebrated with the fam, but Swedish Christmas has too much alcohol. Nordic countries have too much alcohol. It's a day that ends in Y. That's how it goes. You know, like, it doesn't matter where you live. If you live in the north, you're drunk. That's just, it is what it is. Alright, text can go away. Window capture can go away. Make my monster grow. Oop. Still hungover. Yeah, we've all been there. Trying to think. Yeah. So in another sign that I am no ifs, ands, or buts an adult. Yeah. I decided to get myself, we talked about this before. So since I'm making my own bread and my blender's not really cutting it for getting my oat flour down to a fine size for baking stuff. You mentioned this, Porian. As part of the Boxing Day sale on Amazon, I got myself a coffee grinder, like a coffee bean grinder, like a burr mill. I got myself an electric burr mill. So that's in the working its way through the system right now. So first week of January that should come in, and I'll see how it does for grinding up my dried oats to make flour. And just so that I'm not a completely miserable old coot who only cares about making bread, I elected to finally get myself a fidget cube. I've been putting off for years. I got myself a fidget cube because, quite frankly, when I'm doing, I'm always fidgety because I am what I am. But I noticed it's become very pronounced to me as I've started streaming that I'll be like fiddling around with shit on my desk nonstop when doing these streams because I have nothing to do with my hands because I'm like, not playing a game or something. And me, normally I talk with my hands. So if I were to have like hand tracking, that'd be fucking godly. But I'm never going to put in the effort to actually get up to that point. So instead of fiddling around like cables, my phone, the microphone stand, I elected to get a fidget cube. It's only like $10. So I was like, fuck it. I spent like over $100 on that fucking burr mill, even though it was on sale, and it was legitimately on sale. I kept track of the price throughout December, and it was always puttering around $120 for that burr mill, and then for the Boxing Day sale, it was only like $4 off. So I was just like, you know what? I don't care. It's only $4 off, but it's something I was going to get anyway. So fucking stupid. I don't know if I want to say this because it's a deep dark secret I don't feel comfortable with, but I've fallen off the wagon and I've logged back into my Path of Exile account. And as much as I hate Tencent, and I hate what Tencent has done to grinding gear games, Path of Exile, on paper, is still the best Diablo clone of all time. And they're not seeing any of my money. They're never going to get one more penny out of me. And whatever money I have sunk in already to Grim Dawn, not enough serotonin for you? Well, it's not that Grim Dawn isn't enough serotonin for me. I'm still having fun with it, and Grim Dawn is going to have that expansion. Is going to have an expansion come out sometime next year, which I'm all for. But it's less about Grim Dawn being bad, and in that I got the itch. I got the itch. I don't know what set it off. But I got the itch of like playing Path of Exile is fun. I don't like the companies behind it, but they already got my money. So as long as I don't put in any more money into it, it's kind of one of those Schrodinger's ethics. Like I actually looked at my file. I looked at my Path of Exile file, and I spent around $100 on microtransactions to get currency for stash tabs. But what I did was I got a couple of supporter packs over a several year period. Over several years, I got like two or three supporter packs, which came with the cosmetics, but cosmetic packs. But mostly, what I got it for was at those times, it was the best bang for my buck to get the in-store currency, so I could get what was really important, which was the stash tabs. And I've already paid for them, and I'm never going to get that money back. So it's kind of like, why, why be angry about that? And here's the thing: I bought those packs back when Grinding Gear Games was still independent and not owned lock, stock, and barrel by Tencent. Because I remember when I started playing Tencent, when I first started playing, not Grim Dawn, when I first started playing Path of Exile, Tencent wasn't even a minority stakeholder. Like when I first started playing Path of Exile, Tencent wasn't even a thing. They did not have any of their fingers in the pie at that point. However, over the years when they first started investing, and I saw that percentage creep up, and the day that percentage creeped over to 51%. Well, I told the story before. When that percentage of 0 to 51%, when that crossed over to 51%, funny enough, that was on the anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre, and the global chat got showed really hard, and that's when I rage quit because fuck that bullshit. But now as time's gone on, it's just like, eh. Like Kirsha will play that 10-cent gacha shit and stuff, and it's just like, eh. As long as they're not getting my money. When I started needing stash tabs was when I stopped playing Path of Exile. Yeah, no, that's fair. And funny enough, since I got back into it, here's what I did. When I got back into my account, I purged everything. So I made a new character. I purged all of my other characters, and I moved all the relevant items to my stash, and then I cleaned out my stash. So now, actually, I could probably even just show it. It's the VTube Studio, and go shrink. Window capture corner. Log in first. Play. Window capture. Am I blind? Brave, Discord, VTube Studio, Soundboard, Explorer, Firefox. Hmm. Looks like it doesn't want to use window capture. Let's go down to game capture. Let's see, window capture off. Game capture, game. Oh yeah, I also cleaned up my sources in OBS. Let's see, add, game capture, game capture. Any full screen application, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let's see, game capture, move you down in between image and ABCDFGHI for image capture. Transform, fit to screen. Capture a specific window. There we go. Let's see. So, properties. Let's see. Transform properties of the other window. 1280, 720. 1280, 720. 1280, 720. 1280. 720. Rose. Top right, scale 10 bounds, top right. Let's see, top right. Scale 10 bounds, top right. Rose. Okay. Okay, so oh no, it's suffering. Shit. Okay, it's suffering. Okay, Path of Exile is suffering the. Okay, yeah. So Path of Exile seems to be suffering the Magic Arena problem in that it's really finicky for what it wants to capture. Like, for example, it's catching the screen, catching my mouse, but I'd have to refresh the screen. So, yeah. Okay. Now that failed to work. But okay. So, but long and short of it is that I cleaned out my stash and got rid of a lot of duplicate items, stuff I was just hoarding and stuff. And after cleaning up everything, I have 30. I have 30 tabs I'm not using because I just cleaned out everything and just kept only the really important stuff. So I have future proof now as far as stash size goes because I have 30 extra tabs that I'm not doing anything with right now. Boop. So I don't know. I'm still angry. I'm still angry at grinding gear games for selling out. I'm PoE being a piece of shit. Path of Exile is not alone in this regard. That's the reason why I'm not playing Magic. That's the reason why I'm not playing Magic Arena on stream anymore. It's just because the capture is such pain in the ass. Like for me to capture Path of Exile and Magic Arena has me. I would have to do display capture, and I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do display capture. So if I can't capture it via window capture or game capture, then it's dead to me. But getting back to the Path of Exile thing, so I just want to have fun and play my games. I just want to have fun and play my games, and this is kind of like meeting halfway kind of thing. I'm not going to put any more money into it because I don't want Tencent to get my money. However, the money I've already given to the game, I gave it to Grinding Gear Games before the sellout. So it's kind of like going forward, I like to think I got my money's worth because given the amount of hours I put into this game over the years before Tencent came onto the picture, I imagine I'm probably going to get many more hours to come. And now I'm kind of future proof right now with all my stash tabs. Because I have no idea when Path of Exile 2 is coming out. Like they said, here's the thing. Like Grinding Gear Games said that Path of Exile 2 was going to be an expansion. It then became it's becoming its own game. But apparently, you might be able to transfer characters. And the game might continue as is. They're very wishy-washy as far as the news coming out for Path of Exile 2. So I imagine whether or not they're just going to keep the system and transfer your characters over, or if you have to make new characters or whatever, I Don't know what the fuck they're going to do, but they're probably not going to change the business model. So it's probably still going to be free to play, and they're going to make bank on their microtransactions. So I don't imagine when Path of Exile 2 comes out that they're going to really screw around with the business model, because the business model is doing good for them. So I don't see them fucking it up. So, I don't know. It's a good game. Like I say, as far as gameplay goes, and like put a gun to my head, Path of Exile is the best ARPG. Not named Diablo 2. I love me Grim Dawn. I still love me Grim Dawn. I love Grim Dawn from a gameplay perspective and way more as a company perspective. But as far as down to brass tacks, I do like the gameplay of Path of Exile more, because I do love, it's a Materia system. They copied the Materia system from Final Fantasy VII. I love that system. And it's fucking amazing as an ARPG, and I love the passive skill tree, because the passive skill tree is building like a deck in Magic and stuff. I love theory crafting the passive skill tree. It's great. It scratches all the right itches as far as TISM goes and stuff. So I'm still mad, as long as I will always be mad at the company and stuff, but the product itself is not bad. That's the problem I have. It's like I hate the companies, but the product itself is not bad, which is what infuriates me, and I hate myself for it. But I'm having fun, so it's kind of like, you know what? At this point, I think I just break even. I think I just break even. I'm having fun again with a game that I played for years. Like again, Path of Exile was fine for a long time before Tencent got into it. And you know what? It's still good. And here's the thing. I've always played. I hate that the game is online and like everything's server side, but that's how back in the day when I played Diablo 2 with the guys, we played in Battle.net. Like we had our local characters for offline play and stuff. But most of the time we played Diablo 2, we played on the Battle.net server. So it's kind of like, that's the way it's always been. I wish it was offline, but that's what Grim Dawn is for. I don't know. I think there's enough love in my heart for two ARPGs, not named Diablo 2. Because by golly, that corpse is never going to rise again. As much as I hate grinding gear games, and I hate Tencent out of principle, but I hate grinding gear games for selling their souls and stuff. But as much as I hate them, they're not Blizzard. Yeah, like the Kiwis over grinding gear games sold their soul for the almighty dollar. And on some level I can respect that. But Blizzard, that there is long dead, long gone. You can take a measure of solace in that, I suppose. Well, yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like I'm trying to justify and rationalize to myself. This is what this is right now. It's a group struggle session. I'm trying to justify to myself being happy playing Path of Exile, because I'm playing Path of Exile again. Like I only reactivated my account like 2 or 3 days ago. Like over the holidays, like I re-enabled my account and got back into it and stuff, and I'm having fun. And it's one of those things where it's like, I hate the people involved. I'm having fun, and that's all that matters. And I really need to grab on to that little thought of like, I'm having fun and that's okay. As much as it pisses me off, logically, it logically pisses me off. But emotionally, I'm having fun again. I'm having fun with the game. But of course, I'll probably put it on the back burner when the Grim Dawn expansion comes out. But for now, I'm back in Path of Exile. I feel dirty, but whatever. I'm not trying to impress chat. I'm just trying to be comfortable with myself. I still stand by my rage post in the game thread on the asylum and stuff. Fuck grinding gear games for what they did. But now enough time has passed where it's just like, whatever. I don't care. They're not gonna get any more of my money. And I have over 30 tabs that I'm not using right now, so I think I'm good for the foreseeable future. Oh God. Oh God, it's only been an hour. Does anyone want to pop in for a call? Anyone? I'm not gonna say Pipkin because I know he's at work. It's like you're probably at work. Oh, stretch. Glorious water. Okay, what do you want to talk about? I don't. I'm going to be the woman in this scenario. In that I don't know. What do you want to talk about? I'm hearing noise outside, and I'm not looking forward to the inevitable. Okay, so fun little story. So every year around the holiday season, my neighbor makes extra food for their holiday dinners and stuff, and she usually gives me leftovers and stuff. And bless her heart, she's a little sweetie for doing and stuff, but I swear to God, she never makes anything that I would like. I'll eat it, and I'll tell her I enjoyed it when I return her Tupperware. But I don't have it in me to say no or say I'm not interested. It's one of those things where it's like, this is nice. I'm gonna put on a brave face and say this is nice, even though I can't stand like last year. What was it? Oh fuck. The meat. Okay, last year was meatloaf and potatoes. I like the meatloaf and potatoes and stuff, but her fried rice. So last year she gave me meatloaf and potatoes, which were great. Those things were amazing. However, she also had fried rice, and the fried rice was nothing but mushroom and shrimp, and I fucking hate mushroom and shrimp. And the mushroom and shrimp and the fried rice kind of just ruined it for me. But it's every year is like that. There'll be one part of there'll be like a side or like the main. There'll be something I'll disagree with it, but I'll take the whole thing and muscle through it just because I don't want to be mean. I won't toss it out. I'll eat it and stuff. I'll grumble to myself. But when I return to Tupperware, it's like, no, it was great. It's like, thank you. Because like I live by myself and I'm like, hundreds of kilometers away from friends and family, which is fine for me. I don't care. That's how I roll and stuff. But I made the mistake years ago of telling my living situation to my neighbor, and she took it as a challenge of like, oh no, I don't want you to be alone or be left out in the holiday stuff. It's like, and no matter how much I tell her over the years and stuff, it's like, no, it's fine. This is how I want to live. But she's a woman and she does her thing, and I got free food out of the deal, so it's like, I'm not going to say no. So So between Christmas and New Year's is usually when she comes over, and I hear a knock, and then I get the food. So I kind of have an ear for these streams over the next few days. I'm gonna just I have my kind of like ear to the wall of like, all right, when's she coming? Now I'm hungry. God damn it, I made myself hungry. Okay, a little short, but it was comfy, and I got the vent, my deep dark secret. I'm being back in the path of exile, but now I'm hungry. I'm gonna go off and make lunch, or maybe I'll go out and grab some groceries. Who knows? Yep. All right. So thanks for coming. Take it easy. I hope you guys I hope you guys had a good Christmas, and I hope you guys will have a good New Year's. Probably let's see, Friday's 29th. So yeah, I'll do the Friday stream. I'll do the Friday stream, and I might I might do the New Year's Day stream, but we'll see. Uh, So yeah, thanks for coming. Take it easy, and I'll catch you later. Peace.